Well, it is the first edition of the program, The Impact, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state, and we're ready to talk serious business now because as it concerns our dear state, Abia State. Well, this is where we get to, talk about some of the things that have happened in the past, talking about 3.5 years or thereabout. And of course, it's an agenda-setting program. Welcome to The Impact. It is just 14 days to May 29, when the newly elected governors and, of course, the other officials, talking about the elected officials into Abia State, will be sworn in for another term in office. Governor Okezie Ikpeazu got the nod for the second term in office, and, of course, he will be sworn in. This is the reason why we will be looking at how far he has gone in the past dispensation, and of course we will be looking at what the people want, of course, in the next 4 years. Welcome to The Impact. My name is Michael Oni. Samson is right here. Samson, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Michael. Well, like you said, it's The Impact, so it's time for us to interrogate some of those policy thrusts, some policy issues, and some of those key areas as mentioned in that jingle. You had agriculture, commerce, oil and gas, as well as education. But this morning, our anchor point is commerce.
Exactly.
And then we are starting off from the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Ministry, the immediate past commissioner for that
the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development is right here in the studio this morning. Barrister Gabriel Igboko. Am I correct?
Thank you very much.
Good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us.
It
is your first time in the studios of Flow 94.9 FM?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you're welcome. One of the focal points of the administration of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu is about projecting commerce, looking at what he has been able to do in Made in Aba product and some other things. In short, have you been able to achieve as much as you promised the people?
Very well. First and foremost, the ministry is the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development. So it presupposes that there's need to develop whatever had been there. Because if everything was flowing well and good, you will be talking more about management or administration and not the development. So to that extent, he has even achieved much more than promised. The foundation has been solidly laid. It is now to start building. Of course, while the foundation was being laid, restructuring, repositioning, every other thing was being aligned, and is now to fire on all cylinders.
Okay, let's look at the issues here now. Made in Aba campaign, the governor started off, that was one of the focal points of his administration.
Thing or another. So if you don't tap into that potential, it's a great potential. In physics, you have what you call potential energy, you have kinetics. It is now that potential that he has since identified that he now wants to put into kinetics. And that is the essence of that Made in Aba. Because for a long time, most products were produced in Aba, but because the Aba man somehow, I won't want to say inferior, but felt that he needed to rebrand his product in order to market it. Some other people will come and take the Aba product, and you now see labels like made in Italy, but meanwhile it's Aba. And the governor said, no, you have to be proud of what you do. So what the governor did in the first instance was to rebrand those things, give them the standardization they required to meet international standard, so that the commerce will start flowing, and that is where we are. The Aba man is as proud as can be to now say, look, this shirt is Aba, these shoes are Aba, these leather products are Aba. Hitherto, they will be Aba, but they will be bearing some foreign labels. So the potential in Aba is unimaginable. It is for us who are in the ministry, parastatals, agencies, that are now to help and regroup these people. And I like the topic impact, because in research, no matter whatever you do, if you do not feel the impact and have the reportage by back and forth, what we call triangulation, data triangulation, you will not be able to know whether you're making a positive or negative impact. So it is the impact that we're here to evaluate.
Okay, talking about the impact, how has all this translated into taking Aba to the world? How has it translated to better business environment? How has it translated to better recognition for Aba-made wares across the world?
Apart from the governor, who is the chief campaigner, chief marketer, chief advertiser, he has immediate lieutenants, like the gentleman, the senior special assistant to the governor on social investment program, and the focal person too on youth development, Chineye Nwogu. They have gone on a number of trade fairs from the US to Asia, China in particular, I think Canada, New York in the US and England, and lately, just sometime last year, Cairo, where Aba in particular, performed so wonderfully well that to the extent now, goods from Aba are being ordered internationally. Governor just came back from the Gambia. The Gambia military ordered, I think, 10,000 pairs of boots to be produced. In fact, what the governor is doing now is to make sure that the infrastructure is so laid well so that they can even meet their demands. Even the first set of people, young men and women he took to China to learn the trade of shoemaking in standardized international way, came back. The people in China even ordered because they are so sure of their products. So I have no doubt whatsoever that the sky is the limit for this visionary governor in that area. And everything is like a jigsaw puzzle. Once the things are put in place, you now see the pyramid going.
Okay.
Because it will have a direct impact in our economy, in our IGR, and in the velocity of money, which is what lacks in most deflated or depreciated economies. You need to refloat that economy. You need velocity of money. I can explain that later.
But has that reflected in the IGR of the state?
It's coming, definitely. It's coming. Because like I said...
It is not yet there.
It has reflected, but it's not to the tremendous margin we expect.
Okay.
But like I said, the foundations... in fact, I wanted to save it for last, but I might as well tell you that as we speak right now, the governor has gotten the SME Microfinance Bank for the small and medium enterprises in Aba. That is the key. That is where it's going to start, where the small and medium enterprises, businesses, can have access to money at single and very low interest level, single digit.
Okay, Barrister Igboko, let's take a look at the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development in the past 3 years or thereabout. What can you score the ministry? I mean, can you do an analysis, maybe an high point for the ministry during the course of this 3.5 years? And of course, let's look at the low points too. What do you think should be built on in the coming years?
Great. To start with, the ministry is just 1 year and 5 months old. The ministry was created by the singular vision of this cerebral gentleman, our dear governor, on Monday, the 13th of November, 2017, when he...
So it is the youngest ministry?
Yes, among the new ministries.
Okay.
Well, I think we're about 9 of us.
Okay.
Or about 5 that are brand new, that never existed, like vulnerable groups and all that. Some others were just merged and restructured. But this is completely brand new. And it might interest you to know that it is the first and only ministry of SME in Nigeria. In fact, 2 things have happened. On that Monday, 13th of November 2017, when it was created, the next day we got a congratulatory letter from Central Bank of Nigeria that the governor was thinking in line with their vision by elevating SME to a ministerial level, and sent the governor, of course, a congratulatory letter through his lieutenant, which is us in the ministry. We had an international Geneva conference. The man from Washington, D.C. picked on it. And we have had 2 interactive sessions since then. In fact, I'm on my way to Washington. And it's part of... So, on that score, the ministry has done tremendously well in terms of what it has been brought to do, which is to develop. It is Ministry of SME Development.
Okay.
You have to develop all the facets, the parameters that will now make it seamless for these gentlemen. It's like when you have a consultant. The consultant is not teaching you anything new, but he's teaching you better ways, more seamless ways, and cheaper ways of doing that thing you know how to do and having a higher yield. So it's like we're the research and development brain of that SME that you are seeing in Aba.
Okay.
So like I just said, if you see how palpably happy these men were, or men and women, when they heard that they're now going to have their own bank where they'll have access. What drives every economy worldwide are the SMEs. We're talking about the Asian tigers.
Okay, the bank is different from the bank of industry.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
If a bank of industry, they will encourage you because they will give you this soft loan. Because the whole idea, in fact, if you tune to most media outfits these days, whether it's the electronic, everything you hear is like a religion and SME. That's the way to go. And I keep forever and a day saying that we must give kudos to this gentleman, our governor, who saw that vision and took it. Because every other person can now just follow us. We are out there. SME is the way to go.
So now let's look at the high points.
Correct.
What have you been able to achieve in the a year plus, say 12 months plus, that this ministry was created, has been in existence?
That's what I said. Number one, first and foremost, the microfinance bank.
Okay.
If the small trader who needs 20,000 naira, 50,000 on a daily basis doesn't have access to money and cannot meet the requirements to go to the bigger banks that will ask for one or two things, collaterals that he or she cannot meet, you have shrunk, you have shriveled that business. But if you can multiply the effects of that business, 95% of SMEs do not default world over. That is not me talking. So 95%, because most of the SMEs are those who will pledge their uncles, their in-laws, their relations, their friends, and they will know more often than not. He takes 20,000 naira. By the end of the week, he's bringing it back. He takes another 50. That microfinance bank, if nothing else was achieved, that is a milestone legacy signature product of the governor of Abia State to bring the microfinance bank. You will see the explosion of what this will impact on in the next 6 months going forward.
Okay.
Okay, going forward.
That's number one, but I can give you other. This is just on the bank.
Just
Okay,
one.
now, Barrister Iboko, going forward, let's talk about the ease of doing business.
Correct.
Vice President Jemi Oshibanjo had been in the state for several times.
Correct.
On record. And then how is Abia queuing into some of these initiatives from the federal government in terms of ease of doing business? He has visited Aba as many times as you can count on business engagement.
Excellent. You will recall that it was even the vice president that commissioned the building investment house on the 24th of March 2017. He's been to Aba on a number of times, both on officials and semi-officials. Abia from the word go queued into the ease of doing business. In fact, Abia had our own ease of doing business. That was what that investment house is all about, without even knowing that federal government was championing it. So it is so easy for Abia to dovetail into the federal government. We have in that investment building a one-stop shop department where all the federal agencies, like the governor has said time and time again, if you want to incorporate a business or if you want to come and do business in Abia, you don't need to start going to the individual ministries, agencies, or departments. From one-stop shop, like where you go to an embassy of a country, you get all the information you need. So ease of doing business, of which the Vice President of Nigeria is championing, Abia is, without fear of contradiction, I think his number one ally.
Okay.
Little wonder that even our son is the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, and they all tie into the same vision and mission.
Okay, let's look at some of the. Let's look at some of the keywords that came up during the course of this during the course of this administration. It is still current administration in Abia State. Let's look at some of the keywords. Some words that came up during the course of the administration. Words like shoemaking,
Correct.
Abia shoemaking, and some other things. How far have you gone when it comes to educating these shoemakers in Aba, taking them outside the country, and of course educating them on the new ways they can improve, the modern techniques they can make use of in making shoes? How far have you gone?
We've gone so far, very, very far. You see, one of the things, the basic thing in shoemaking, like I said, when I use the analogy of the consultant, you're not teaching them the trade. They know the trade, but perhaps they know it in the rudimentary way. I'm not trying to teach them, perhaps, in a digital way. There's one particular machine in leather works. It's known as multi-purpose machine. That machine is sold for $500,000. No one person or even a company in Nigeria that is dedicated to just shoemaking can afford it. If you go to the Tenary, Nigerian Leather and Tenary department in Zaria, I visited that when I was in my former ministry, and on how to partner. These are the kind of things. That's what the governor has ordered after taking this first set of people to China. When these machines have installed completely, these first pathfinders will now start teaching the rest. The whole idea is that you buy into such a facility, what you call timeshare. So the shoemaking has existed, but it's going to come out in fact, it's already coming out in much better quality.
So you're saying it will be worked on in the second term?
No, it's already on. I told you that the Gambia ordered 10,000 boots.
Are the machines functioning?
The machines, yeah, in small bits now, because by the time everything is put in place, because I think it's even going to go in these other needs of his. So those were the things that were the challenges of having these professionals move into a new and better environment for mass production. So some of these infrastructure are going to put in place so that when a man that has been in a particular place for 30 years, it's more like if you are relocating him to another place, you'll be able to at least meet his needs, where his children can go to school, where his wife and other members of the house or his household can meet their own daily needs. But coming back to what impact, if you see the shoes, before, if an Aba man made a pair of shoes for you, one rainy season, the sole will peel off. Now, 2, 3, 4, because he is more in tune with the modern ways of making this. Because there's nothing, it's still the same technology, know-how, but it is the end product, the finesse. So we are really on ground there.
Okay.
And that the machines are being installed. I know.
Okay, let's go for a break now. It is still the impact, and when we return, we would like to take you more, especially as it concerns the shoemaking segment, category segment of the commerce in Abia State. We will be right back. It is still the impact right here on Flow 94.9 FM. We're doing stock taking, and of course, doing agenda setting for the second term administration of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, and of course the immediate past Commissioner for Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Barrister Gabriel Igboko, is right here. Samson Eze is very much here. My name is Michael Oni. We will be right back. All right, it is still the impact right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the first edition of the program. And of course, we're taking stock, looking at what the government may need to look at as it concerns May 29 upward. And we are also doing stock taking right here on the program. The first edition, we're encouraging the discussion on commerce. And of course, we have the immediate past Commissioner for Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Barrister Gabriel Iboko, right here in the studios of Flow 94.9 FM.
Yes, exactly. Barrister Iboko, let me take you on this one now. We know about the enterprising spirit of an average Abia man. Abba is just there for you to see what the Abia citizens can actually do if given the assistance. So in real terms, sir, it's about the impact of whatever policy that the government has come up with in almost 4 years now. How much of assistance has the government given to small businesses in real terms? I'm talking about capital. How much of assistance, financial assistance, input, and all that?
Thank you very much. A lot of assistance.
Okay.
Prior to this administration, there had been all manners of interventionist funds from donor agencies and federal government agencies. But if there was anything, this administration, even before the creation of the ministry that is supposed to now harmonize it, the government has made sure that Abia has never lacked, Abia has never lost focus or even taken its eye off the mark in tying into so many of the federal government interventionist funds that they have keyed our people, whether from Bank of Industry to Central Bank to even Bank of Agriculture, Development Bank of Nigeria. These are agencies that have soft funds, very low margin. So what government is doing now is to make sure that these people are clustered where they can now attract these funds much more seamlessly rather than go on individual basis. A lot of our business men and women in Aba that never even had access to some of these funds or never even had an idea that the funds existed. At least government has, in the last 3 years that I'm aware of, even while I was in another ministry, I knew that because I see them at seminars. The vice president was not coming here for jamboree or coming on sightseeing. It was more of business, because vice president also had recognized the impact Aba would make or makes to the Nigerian economy. So once these funds are available, he brings them to the table and says, look, gentlemen, and he and the governor have a very, very cordial relationship, very cordial, without you knowing that they are from different parties.
Okay, another area is the support to some of the businesses you find in Aba in areas of power, infrastructure development. Much has been said, but not much could be seen on ground.
I wouldn't want to say not much is seen on ground, because right now, if you go to Ariaria area, right now, you will not know that you are in a power epileptic or power endemic region of Nigeria. Because even at some point, our governor took it personally, because there was a very big hitch between the two major players in the power sector, the EEDC and the geometrics. And the governor took it personally, intervened, federal government, to the extent that he now got a Chinese Mongol who is writing off, if he hasn't written it off already, of some humongous amount that was supposed to be the cause of the imbroglio between these two giants, because the governor knows that we are the beneficiaries. We will gain. With just that power solving in the area about environ, you can imagine what it will do to business, which is a major achievement again. Area is going to have 24 hours of power supply uninterrupted because of the geometrics that is just like there at Aloji. And it was Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu that came in to solve the problem. I don't want to call the names of the two, as well known, but I'll just call their companies, Geometrics and EDC.
Okay, let's go straight to the phone lines. If you have questions, you have a contribution on the program, you can go straight tap your phones, 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. You can also drop your messages on the SMS line 0906 510 8289. Let's take calls and we go back to the conversation. Hello, good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, Samson. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, my Honorable Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Thank you. At least, if not for any other thing, you say that the Honorable Commissioner and Okezie Ikpeazu have done very, very well in economic cities. Small and medium enterprise in other states has really has gone a very high level today, unlike what it used to be. So if I am to say Okezie Ikpeazu should continue with the good stride he has, with the good things he has achieved in small and medium enterprise, but he should improve. Also, there are some other people in this same small and medium enterprise that need below that 20,000 naira grant. He should look at them and know how to make sure that those people also get what others are getting, so that in the next 4 years, there will be no need for us to start searching for white-collar jobs, because from now till 2023, small and medium enterprise will go a very high way to elevate poverty in other states. I say kudos to Ikpeazu as we wait for his inauguration come May 29. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you for your contribution. Messages 0906 510 8289. Calls 0811 605 2949 and 0808 182 6949. Before we went for that break, we told you that we will get back to you. We will bring back the conversation on the shoemaking.
Correct.
So let's look at that area now. The shoemaking, the machines, they've been talked about. A lot has been said. You will agree with me that even opposition, they used it to campaign during the course of the last election. What is the present status of those machines? And of course, have they been in use? And how many of those shoemakers are benefiting from these? Help me something from
the initiative
of the Abia State government.
Correct.
Yes, exactly. How many of those shoemakers are really benefiting from this initiative?
Well, thank you so very much for bringing that to light. To start with, I don't even want to dignify whatever the opposition, because they tried never to see any good, to the extent that even when things are being approved for this state at international level like World Bank, ADB, you will be surprised to know how much the so-called opposition will be writing to stop these things from coming to Abia. It got a level at some point that they were even asked, are you against this man, Okezie Ikpeazu? Are you against your fellow Abians? Because if you deny the thing coming to Abia, you have also hurt yourself. Well, that is by the way. You see, like I said, I don't know whether you can tie them together. You don't want to bring these machines. The machines are already around anyway.
Okay.
Because first and foremost, by the time these machines, as I said, we have a very, very, very cordial relationship with federal government, so that when these things are planned for the small businesses, they enjoy certain waivers on duty because they are not purely commercial. So between the bringing the machines from China and landing Nigeria, certain issues were sorted out. But these machines will not be be installed in our area. You have to install them in their new environment. That's the example I gave about the UMUAHIA. That is a modern industrial layout. In fact, when I had the privilege to conduct a group of a team that came from the presidency, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, from Ariara, they went to UMUAHIA. They were screaming at what was in place. The expatriate site engineer took us around, explained it needs a modern facility. You will see like in Altamura. Altamura is the leather capital of the world in Italy. So, but because of what I said, our own peculiar nature, a man will not live where he is in area to go to Umukalika when his children's schools were. So these are but with respect to the smaller machines, the way the Aba man made shoes 3 years ago is not the way he's making shoes now. But we want to take this into a very high level, industrialized level, where if he was making 50 shoes a day, he will probably now make 150 shoes an hour because of the machine, because of the digitized nature, and of course not compromising on quality. We are on the right trajectory. Things are no longer how they were 3 years ago, but we haven't reached that cruising level that the governor envisages. But he said, from little acorn grows mighty oak. So we are moving, and the most important thing that the foundation is as solid as can be, and then we are now driving.
Well, another key word to look at is the Enyimba economic city.
Correct.
A lot has been said about that economic city.
Absolutely.
How will it benefit the small and medium enterprises? How has it been benefiting, and how will it, in your capacity as the immediate past commissioner for the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises and Development in Abia State?
Brilliant. Let me just give you a quick balance.
Okay.
When the GSM, which is the Global Services for Mobile Communication, when GSM came into Nigerian market, SAIC, if you remember, you bought the SIM. There was a time even in Lagos, SIM was going for 50,000 naira.
Exactly, even higher than that.
Good. We went, that same year, we went with the vice president then of the country to Nigeria-South Africa summit. At Johannesburg International Airport, we were getting SIM for as much as 1,500 naira equivalent. Every Nigerian there was shocked. And then during the seminar and workshop, MTN and Econet, as it was known then, told us that the thing was not about the SIM, it was about the usage. When I went to grad school in Washington, D.C., Nigeria, they used 3 examples for Nigeria: GSM, Nollywood, and what was the third one? Where Nigeria leads the world. But what interested me more was the GSM. They said the average Nigerian, since we started this program, was still on intro. He asked you about your family. Anyway, so they are more interested in tapping into that time. What GSM brought to Nigeria is exactly what Enyimba Economic City is going to bring to the small, micro, not even just small, micro, small, medium, before you now go to industrialize. Because you will have ancillary businesses. You have direct and indirect jobs. Because when GSM came, people that were selling cases, people that were selling chargers, people that were selling recharge cards. When you bring the Mongo, Enyimba Economic City, every other thing in the environment becomes a business enterprise. Even the food vendor, because there will be so many industries. And mark you, Enyimba Economic City is also going to bifurcate into trying to channel the Azumini waterway. Abia is just 53 nautical miles from the ocean. Part of the large picture of Enyimba Economic City, I was privileged 2 weeks ago to be with the deputy governor who represented the governor in receiving a group of federal government delegation that comprised Ministry of Transportation, Shippers Council. I think there were about 3 or 4 agencies led by DAL also, who of course they are champion of the Enyimba Economic City.
Okay.
And they are on the last verge of signing off everything. They have done all their due diligence. They have done all their feasibilities. It's going to be a mind-blowing. It's like what we have in Canada, the St. Lawrence Seaway, where you have a 2,700 miles of artificial inland waterway, and it's the busiest inland waterway in the world today. Aba will be shipping directly and all southeast to Atlantic Ocean.
Are you saying there will be movement of goods through the
and services? Correct. That is part of the Enyimba Economic City. It's not just about trade and commerce. It has a larger picture of. It's a mind-blowing concept, And you must also give kudos to the people that, first of all, thought about this and now trying to put it into kinetics.
Okay.
Okay, Barrister Iboko, let's look at the future now. Expectation. What should the people of Abia State expect in terms of SME development and then ease of doing business and other ancillary activities going forward, beginning from May 29th, 2019, when the governor takes another oath of office?
Brilliant. I said in one of my discussions with one of my colleagues, you see, we as operatives in government, I in particular, I always say I don't have a dog in the fight. Expectation must be great, unless, God forbid, I didn't do my work well, and I don't think the governor called me from how he felt I should come and help him. I don't think governor, if he knew I wouldn't do my work, would have called me. There's no way the person that is going to take over from me will go back through the rudiments I went through. It's building upon. And if you want to start a building, you must have a solid foundation. I lived for 29 years in Lagos. Look at what is happening in some places in Lagos, buildings collapsing. It's not the beauty of the building, it is the weakness of the foundation. One thing you must give this governor, he is not carried away by these flimsy criticisms. He is building solid foundation. Like the military will tell you, the military missile or like the catapult, if you carry a stone and throw, it can only go so far. But if you want it to go very far, you have to draw it back. That's the concept of the military missile or the catapult. You must pull it back to now launch past where you launched it from and even go further. So Okezie Ikpeazu and his administration have laid very solid foundation from all these ministries, all of us. It's a teamwork. Whether it's in agriculture, industry, trade and commerce, we have in these last 4 years, because Abia was in decay. Ochendo did a whole lot by bringing us out of that decrepit position we found ourselves. Okay. And then this governor is now cleared the debris, is now to build on. And so the expectation is the sky is the limit.
Okay.
What are you expecting? Sorry, Michael. What are you expecting from the public? What kind of support? What should be their role in all this?
Yeah, at some point, I even got worried about even our own perception in public. Even in my own family. You find out that, look at all of us here in the studio. The average level of education here, let me not at least WASC. But when you go to the village, you find out that our people who live, those of us who were privileged to have attained at least high school education, they would rather go to the street man that would hear something and interpret it upside down. The public got to a very worrisome level of, I don't know what I would say, pessimism. That even when you see something white, just because you already have it in your mindset that it must be black, you don't want to have the courage to describe it as well. So please, my own is that let us have an open mind and give this gentleman where he will take Abia to in 4 years from today. There's an Igbo song, we have during campaign. They said, "Had I known," and Ngaramara. So Okezie Ikpeazu is on the right track, right trajectory. So the public should just, please, it can only be better. We were horrible. We were down there, and I didn't hear much complaint then. Now someone is coming like to take us out of like the proverbial tortoise. We are complaining.
All right, let's go straight to the phone lines. If you want to be part of this conversation, it's 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. You can also drop your messages on the SMS line 0906 510 8289 2949. What do you expect as it concerns commerce? What do you expect as it concerns small and medium enterprises development in Abia State in the coming years of the new administration of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu? We have the immediate past commissioner for of the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, talking about Barrister Gabriel Igboko, right here in the studio.
Yes, exactly, Barrister Igboko. We are coasting home now, but let's find out from you what has been the challenges for you, some of the things that may have accounted for your inability to meet some of your targets.
Well, let me start first by saying that I enjoyed a lot of cooperation. The only thing I would say was a seeming challenge was the unawareness of what the government intends or intended.
Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Good morning to you. You're live on radio. Okay, you can go ahead, please.
So, but no sooner had we explained to the people, would you see a very embracing relationship we enjoyed from our people, particularly in Aba.
Okay.
Each time I went, and each time we had a seminar. The last one was on the 7th of February, in conjunction with the Central Bank of Nigeria. All the clusters, the SME clusters, from Ambassador Darlington, Andy, Oba, they meet. They're just waiting. Even when we call them to talk about buying into the microfinance bank, into the ownership, I was quite impressed. They all said 100%, but there was that caveat that the government should bring the license first, and they will go. Because they said they didn't want to now be seen to contribute, and government will now run them out. So there was that, I would say, palpable apprehension of the notion of government. So if there was anything, at least I would say we achieved, it is trying to disabuse that apprehension, that phobia. But I must tell you that it was a challenge, because each I say it's not the same government. I have heard this over and over. It's not quite true this time around. I must tell you honestly.
Okay, but before we let you out of the program, want to know how is it was as a barrister? You're a barrister of the law, and you handled the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises Development. How?
An environment earlier.
So to marry these two together, it's difficult.
Well, not so difficult. Let me quickly, I don't know how much time I have.
Okay.
If you're into soccer, sometime in this country, we had a gentleman called Silvano Sokpala.
Quicksilver.
Excellent. And it was Ernest Okonkwo that gave you Quicksilver.
Yes.
What happened was that Ifeanyi Onyedika was called to camp. Ifeanyi Onyedika told Bros Tiko, that there was their Oga who was suffering malaria then, and out of curiosity, called this your so-called Oga. They brought Ifeanyi Onyedika. They brought Silvano Sokpala. In a trial match, Silvano Sokpala scored the 4 goals of the match. And Otto Gloria, who had just been brought in to nurture the national team, found him and brought him. And then the typical Brazilian style found out that if this guy was as slippery and as fast, he didn't need to be in the forward, he needed him at the back.
Okay.
Silvano Sokpala was now converted from center forward to right full back. So I must also give it to the governor for finding out who can do what.
The hidden talent in you.
Well, I don't want to praise it, but I have a degree in law, but I also have a degree in monetary economics.
Okay.
I have a master's from Johns Hopkins in policy. So I thought the government, you see, once you are challenged, once you're educated, even here, once you're educated and you are challenged, you will know how to assemble the team. So I also thank my team. We have a solid team, whether in the ministry or in the committee that the governor formed for us to drive some of these initiatives. So it's a teamwork.
Thank you very much, Barrister Gabriel Igboko.
Thanks a lot.
For being part of the program. The first edition, I will say it's a pleasure to have you on the program this morning.
Thanks a whole lot indeed.
Okay. We will be back next subsequent edition of the program. We will look at education and, of course, the health sectors. We'll get to look at them. We will be back on Friday, that's by 10 a.m., where we get to look at stock taking for the education sector and, of course, the health sector too. And also, of course, we do some a bit of agenda setting for the government. It is Flow 94.9 FM. Samson Eze.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Do have a wonderful time. Keep listening to your darling radio station, Flow 94.9 FM. My name is Michael Oni.
Radio.
It's not just radio anymore. Flow 94.9 FM brings you something big and new. Let's give you that camera light action effect, which is also part of our complete outside broadcast services for all your event coverage, both recorded and live. Juicy offers await you as you do business with us.
Let's go.
So what do you have? Is it a wedding, cultural event, birthday, conference, seminar, or showbiz? Whatever it is, we are always ready and set to give you what you need. We also run visual advert for your company, products, and services. And we air not just on radio, but also on our online TV. For more information and booking, you can visit Flow 94.9 FM located at 7B Factory Road, UMUAHIA, or visit our marketing office at Bank of Industry Building, number 1 Constitution Crescent, Asa Road, Aba, Abia State. Or call our marketing team on 0703 160 8029 or 0805 174 5686. Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state.